Hello, everyone. I'm Gerri Willis. The president's fighting to make welfare easier to get, but Republicans aren't taking it lying down. A group of 76 GOP representatives have sent a letter to the administration demanding they justify their authority to make these changes without Congress's consent. And the House could be voting on a bill to block Obama's welfare changes as early as next week. Joining me now, Republican Congressman Tom Graves from Georgia, the leader in the fight to protect welfare reform. Welcome to the show, Congressman. Tell me, what are you expecting to hear from the Health and Human Services Secretary?
Well, as of now, we haven't really heard anything, and I expect that we'll get the silent treatment as always. But first, I want to commend you. You've done a great job reporting on this, and I encourage your viewers to go read your blog, which gives a great account of what's occurred here and how much the federal government has expanded and how the results have been so poor. And now we have the president and his administration sidestepping the law of the land and trying to expand the welfare state, and we're just not going to let it happen, and we're going to keep pushing back.
To that end, you've sent a letter, 76, I guess, all told of you, requesting information where the authority comes from for the administration to remove the work requirement from welfare. Let's put this into perspective. The work requirement was the reform to welfare that actually got people off the rolls. It shrunk the program. It made it more effective. Fewer children are in poverty. Do you expect the administration to back off of this?
Well, I hope they do. As to my expectations, they've let me down several times that I've had expectations of what they'll do. But you're absolutely right. I mean, it had a positive effect on poverty in the United States when it was first signed into law by President Bill Clinton. And that's something that we should continue to encourage, is that you work. I mean, that is something even the president has said in 2008. That was one of his philosophies when it came to social programs in the United States, is that work was required.
To that end, let me read a quote from the president. This is from back in 2008 at the Saddleback presidential debate. He said this: welfare reform worked better than I think a lot of people anticipated. One of the things I'm absolutely convinced of is we have to work as a centerpiece of any social policy. Why do you think he changed his mind?
Well, you know, the coincidence of what he said then and where we are today, there seems to have been an election looming in 2008 and an election looming here this year as well. So I'm not sure if it's politically motivated or not, but the bottom line is, what are the results going to be? Food stamps have nearly doubled in the United States under his administration. The welfare spending has increased 40% in the United States, and the jobless rate has gotten worse.
You know, the numbers here: the federal deficit, $1.17 trillion, welfare spending, almost that, just a shade under $1 trillion. And, you know, we're not making the point here, and I don't think you would either, Congressman, that people who deserve welfare not get welfare. We're just saying, let's make it the most efficient, productive program we can that does the best for the American people. Am I right?
You're absolutely right. I think it was designed in a way to help those who are in need transition back into the workforce and to help them with that transition along with their communities, their churches, their families. But it was never meant to supplement for work or for a paycheck. And I hope the president's legacy is not one in which he supports welfare checks over paychecks. America is far better than that.
Well, you know, we've had 4 straight years of trillion-dollar deficits. We've got another one shaping up right now. We have to make some serious decisions about how we're going to spend money in this country. Is this one of the programs that needs to be downsized?
Well, I think that whether it's downsized or not, I mean, ultimately it's a big problem that it's not encouraging folks to be in the workforce, which expands the economy and makes it better and helps everyone out. In fact, it makes poverty worse in America, because whenever you're paying out money out of the federal government for welfare checks or whatever it might be, you're taking from someone else through taxes, and so it only lowers income for somebody else to spread it out elsewhere. And it's you know, just certainly something, in my opinion, is not the right path, and that's why we're introducing legislation. We've sent the letter to the Secretary, and we're going to continue fighting on this.
Well, and just to expand the point here, because I think a lot of people think about welfare, they think about the old-fashioned welfare program, right? But in fact, there are 126 welfare programs. This includes everything from SNAP, which is food stamps, 1 in 7 Americans on food stamps, to the old-fashioned welfare program, housing aid, you name it, it's really out there. At the end of the day, do we need all these programs, or maybe should they be streamlined in some way so we really have a handle on what we're spending?
Well, I think that's a great argument to be made right there. 126 different programs from the federal government. And that doesn't even include what happens on the state levels throughout the United States. So obviously the federal government has expanded the welfare state, and it's tried to insert itself into the lives of Americans all across this country. And ultimately what's happened, Gerri, is that there's been an increased dependency on government. And that is something that I know you don't support, I don't support, and I think most Americans don't support. But the President has laid that path out for us to be a nation of dependency, and that's dependency on government.
Well, Congressman Graves, thanks for coming on tonight. Really appreciate your time. You'll have to let us know how your battle goes.
We'll do it. Thank you, Gerri.
Thank you. Well, here's our question tonight. Is it too easy to get welfare?